Well, I messed up the timer. Oh well. Whatever. Hi chat. How we doing? Welcome in, everyone. Happy Wednesday to you? Happy Wednesday. How we doing? Interesting dinner tonight. I still am not 100% sure what I'm gonna do. Like, I don't even know what I'm getting for sure. I have this lovely packet here on my cutting board. But we're gonna have to break into that and figure out what I'm gonna do with that in a little bit here. Let's make some coffee to start. Welcome in, Crawl Doll. Happy to see you, JK. Welcome. Oh, I don't have the scramble enabled. I will do that in a moment here. Oh, I didn't update my dinner command, did I? Nope. What am I doing on Friday? What does the calendar say I'm doing on Friday? Chicken and cucumber salad and pita wrap. Chicken and cucumber salad pitas. Okay. There we go. Thank you for joining me, everyone. Cheers. Alright, so let's see what the heck is in this thing. I don't even know what's in this thing still. I know there's meatballs and marinara. It almost reads like 8 meatballs and marinara. Newer than 2022. That is something that, like I was saying, that looks like it looks like there's a definite market people out there of like buying them and then reselling them. Nothing else in there. I don't know if there's a top to this thing. Marinara sauce and meatballs. I feel some little lumps in there. I don't know if I would call those meatballs, but there's our main entree. Cookie. Chocolate chip cookie. Vacuum packed. I'm not using the chiclets. If they are chiclets. Probably not, because they're not labeled. I can do without the toilet paper. I don't know what we'll save. We'll use that for something. I don't know. Oh, I should have went for the Bill's Brew. It's freeze-dried too, so it's really easy to make. We got creamer, sugar, well, 0-calorie sweetener. Interesting, enjoy. And toilet. Most of that probably won't get used. This will go into my pack of... Those probably go in the truck. Perhaps the most unappetizing utensil I've ever seen. Teriyaki beef stick. Teriyaki. Oh. We got our bag that we're supposed to make our coffee in. We have cherry BB cobbler. Descriptive. We have... Oh, this is our heating thingy. Yeah, this is our heater. Orange beverage powder. Wow, this is like huge. Why'd they make it in such a huge bag? Oh, maybe you can mix it just in the bag? That makes sense. Sugar, dextrose, citric acid, natural and artificial flavors, salt, monopotassium phosphate. What is that, like anti-chemistry? Sodium citrate and yellow 6-lake. That sounds tasty there. Oh, we got cherry blueberry cobbler. Marinara sauce and meatballs made with beef and chicken. I'm not reading anything here in the top of that looks anything close to pasta. Not that really has pasta size to it, but yeah, that's looking like that's just meat. Five hours for optimal recovery. We did that. Italian breadsticks? What? It's like... This is the hardtack. And cheese spread with jalapenos. Need package before opening. It sort of almost compels you to knead it the way it feels. Yeah, it's like half soft, half. Okay, so where do we start with it? Well, let's open with the jerky stick, because that's gonna... That's sort of the outlier of this whole thing. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. Not actually sure what I'm gonna do with this either. I got ideas for what I can do for most of the rest. I do need to get some bread going here. And so, yeah, let's get some bread going. Some yeast going. Hello, Cosmic. Frozen yeasties going in water. I am definitely adding some sugar to this. Hi, Carl Dole. You've been hanging out with us already, though. Welcome. Let that do its thing. And let's see what we got here for some of these things. Italian breadsticks. Yep, that's... They're soft, but it's hardtack. And probably not really, but we'll get into that. That's probably going to end up in with this. Cobbler. Since I'm probably not going to change the meatballs and sauce, I think I'm going to try and use the pack heater for the meatballs. But I'm going to open this up and see what this dessert thing looks like. Let's use a stainless steel bowl. Let's break out the stainless steel in case this thing wants... Actually, the... Oh, interesting. This does have starch and stuff in it, so this may have, like... Hey, Pobo. Interesting. It's almost like it's already got bits of chocolate in it. Wow, that's happy already. That's already nice and foamy. I wasn't paying attention to that. Where's the thing with this? I don't see it in the ingredient list though, but there's something almost... There's like some imitation, like small bits of chocolate in there. Or something along that line. We're going to transform this into something else. Although this... That just looks like an elegant dessert all by itself. Cookie. Oh, we got a crumbly cookie. Crumbling this is what I think I had in plan. Anyways. gonna give this little piece a shot though. Delicious, but very dry, very crumbly. Like, that's got better flavor than most cookies that are that dry. And even though it's not real chocolate so much, I'm sure there's some real chocolate in there, but the flavor, it's got a real strong chocolate flavor to the whole thing. Alright, so let's get some flour together for with you. .300 calories. By the way, for anyone new in here, I am very much not a veteran. I have not been in the service whatsoever. I've seen some of this on TV. This is the first MRE I've ever broken into. Okay, so overall plan that I think I am going with here tonight is we're going to turn the cobbler into an actual cobbler. We're going to give that a proper crust. We're going to make the meatballs into a sub. And we might have an orange tequila drink. We'll have to try the orange by itself, see which... if I think tequila will go with it or not. Going to use the cookie as a crumble for the top of the cobbler. Still don't know what I want to do with the cheese spread and the jalapeno and the teriyaki beef stick. Maybe I need to be doing... Let's try this hardtack. What did I do with that? Where'd that go? Feels very soft. Like, this feels like the soft cookie you expect. versus the dry cookie. The flavor on that cookie is great, but it is so dry. This actually feels quite soft. They're very much trying to emulate without having any actual volume to them at all. Wow, that's dry. You thought Wonder Bread stuck to your mouth. Wow. Okay, that's going into here. Let's make sure we don't have anything in this that's going to kill the yeast, though. Can't even hardly read these. You know, it's just going to be better if I just wait on this. We'll wait to add this. We'll mix the yeast in here. We'll get the yeast going and happy. Pop-Tart without the tart. Pop-Tarts do have that, like, dimpling across the top of them, don't they? Bit of salt. Alright, we're going to let the yeast hang out with that for a bit. Oh, you mean the, were you talking about this? This has a very strong Italian. The flavor on this is like, they've amped the flavor up on all of this, in my mind. Like, the textures aren't there, and it's incredibly dry, but it's all incredibly flavorful. And it's made up of laboratory-like ingredients. Oh, this was the Italian breadsticks part to our dish. They're 200 calories in breadsticks. By the way, chat, this is, in my opinion, the much better way to test someone's knife skills if you want to test someone's knife skills. Versus, like, yeah, you want to be able to see what they know what they're doing with an onion. The onion is sort of like the traditional one, the vegetable that, you know, we most use in most savory kitchens. But as far as actual accuracy and cutting and making the same shapes and stuff like that, have them cut dry bread. Like, if you can get them to cut perfect squares, I'm going to put this in a bowl because I still don't want to mix that with the other yeasties. Use the container I put the yeast in originally. I almost want to do a second bread with this. I think I'm doing a second bread, chat. Make use of my MRE spoon here. So we'll do garlic cheese teriyaki bread, garlic cheese jalapeno teriyaki beef stick bread, instead of the normal breadsticks. No more. We got meatball sub, and we got proper cobbler. I assume this is just one of those peel packages, but yeah, maybe we'll tear it. This is one of the things I would be most worried about having issues with in this. Because the beef stick is probably not made from the best pieces of meat to begin with. But then again, maybe for this, they're being good about it. It feels relatively fresh, like it doesn't feel like it's like dried out or anything, but it's been in a sealed package too. And these are supposed to be good for at least 5 years. Need another bowl for our ingredients for this one too, because we're going to proof it separate from the ingredients I'm going to put in it. Normally I would throw some like dry Italian like herbs in with our bread here, but I think there's going to be so much from these breadsticks that it's not going to be necessary at all. I am going to add some garlic to this one though. Okay, let's get the meatballs and the cookie off the cutting board. Let's see what our cheese spread looks like here. Cheese spread has me thinking of like the cheese crackers with the little red stick thingy. But with jalapenos, and this is feeling much softer and much looser than that. Well, that's not very terrible. Somehow I suspect they may have a knife, though. Let's see what sort of flavor we got here. Pretty much nailed that. That cheddar or that cheese flavor, exact same stuff as like the cream stuff. It's thinned out a little bit, and there's jalapeno in there, so there's a bit of a heat to it. It's not too hot though. Didn't get a tortilla with this. We got the Italian breadsticks that I've already minced up. Those are going into our meatball sub bread. These are going to turn into I don't want to risk that baking weird. After I'd squeezed it in here, I started thinking, maybe I could have put that over the top for baking the bread. Let's not go there. We can do that in the small. Mince up a little garlic here next for in with this. We're gonna mix this, and I'm gonna add some garlic infused butter to that mix. So what about this week? Redeem for a weekly theme. Well, we keep track of sprinkles here in chat. We have a second currency in this stream called sprinkles. And you earn that from hanging out in chat, being here during events. When people raid in, you get as many sprinkles as we have raiders. If you're here at the beginning or end of stream, you get an extra 50. You do scrambles and you win them, you get extra sprinkles. All those sort of things. And if you get enough of them, I think it requires 7,500 right now, you can make a weekly theme. And so I do the 3 other nights of the week based on your theme. And sometimes I work the Wednesday challenge into it. I don't promise that, but sometimes I work it in there. But it takes quite a while. That's like 7,500 sprinkles is 6-month territory. It says 1 for channel points. So it takes 1 channel point and 7,500 sprinkles. You can find out how many sprinkles you have by typing !sprinkles. Most of the channel points, if you click on them, they have a more detailed description. If you click on them, like the initial button isn't like the actual activator most of the time. The initial button is sort of like selecting which one, and then it comes up with a menu where you can write other things in there. Yeah, my channel points are dough balls, but I don't really ever talk about them. Most of my channel point stuff I've made, so I'm just really pricing it as far as I want people using it during the stream. I can't find out actually how many channel points you have on the Twitch end of things. I can find out how many sprinkles you have though, so that it allows me a lot more flexibility. Also, if I do giveaways using sprinkles whenever we get to follower goals, is primarily what I do that for. That allows me that legal fine line that there was no money donated, versus channel points, you get bonuses for subscribing and other things like that. Some states in the US, I don't know how California does it, but some states in the US, without question, I have checked into, require there to be no monetary value behind an actual giveaway. And I don't feel like getting in trouble. Hey, they can see me. Welcome in. I'm making 2 doughs. I've opened up this MRE. First MRE I've ever opened or have tried anything in. And sadly, you've missed most of that. But the plan here is now I'm taking that MRE and turning it into dinner tonight. We have 2 breads in process. The first one's going to be a sub bread for This is going to be a sub bread with using the Italian breadsticks that came in the MRE for our meatball filling. And then we had the meat stick, or the jerky stick, and the cheese mixture. I'm going to turn that into like almost like a pull-apart bread or garlic knots or a simple snack bread with this yeast and some flour here in a little bit. This garlic can go in with the butter. There's the berry cobbler that came with this. There's supposedly, I mean, according to the ingredient list, there's like already a topping in here, but I don't really see one. We're going to give this a proper topping using our chocolate chip cookie. And there's some other stuff I'm doing.
Welcome in, they can see me.
Get some garlic going here. I'm gonna add some butter to that. Oh, hey, how convenient. Perfect little pat of butter. Pat of butter. It's a butter pat. Sure is a lot of trash with this. Yeah, it's a little large for what I'm doing. That's still a bit big. Didn't really want to brown this garlic so much as just get it all happy with that butter. Make that butter and garlic best friends over there. What did I do with my... Oh, I threw it in there. mixing up the flours a little bit here since I'm low in AP flour. And doing a bit of whole wheat and a bit of pastry. Yeah, I make them from scratch usually. Though I usually do flour ones. I have a press, but I don't usually. Hi, Tiff Tiff. Not sure what you're referring to there. Are you referring to how much it bubbles up when you cook it? This pastry flour doesn't like to hydrate easily, and so there's little bits of pastry flour. You mean puff up sort of like a pita when you cook a pita? I'm doing pitas on Friday. Gonna try and puff those up. Not sure which way I'm gonna do that though. If I remember correctly, doing it on my pizza stone worked pretty well last time. I've done it both on the cast iron, on the stove, and in the oven. I can't remember which one I like better. As far as pitas, I haven't done tortillas in the oven. Funnily enough, I have made bacon shell tortillas, or bacon shell tacos, but I do not recall making homemade hard taco shells. Like I've made masa tortilla shells now. I've made flour. I've made 50-50 mix, which is sort of my usual. Just I haven't made chalupa-like products either, even though chalupas are really a Taco Bell thing. I have made Navajo fry bread style tacos. I'm sure Navajo people are cringing at all of that. Take our garlic infused butter We're gonna mix that with our cheese sauce and teriyaki stick. Teriyaki jerky stick. And so this is all getting mixed into. This is going to be almost like our garlic bread for tonight, or our cheese bread for tonight. I'm certain they have products like it, but from my knowledge, it's almost entirely a Taco Bell thing where it's made into like a taco. Like, I'm sure they have like some sort of like fried bread. Like, everyone's got fried bread. Like, just about every culture in the world's got fried bread. It's right there with dumplings and noodles. Pancakes. Good cup of coffee, but that was enough of that. It was starting to get lukewarm, and as I've repeatedly told chat, I like hot coffee. I like cold coffee, but I hate hot coffee that's gotten cold and cold coffee that's gotten hot. Though at the same time, Pobo, I have not been to Mexico, so I am most certainly not expert on what they do or don't have. And most people that want to call themselves an expert, I don't want to believe they're an expert. No, over here. Over here. How did you not mess that up and you messed that up, Mr. New Technology Camera? It's time for some cookie smashing. I'm almost regretting this because this is a good cook. It's dry, but that is a tasty cookie. Oh, hey, what do you know? We have actual smeary chocolate. Didn't want to completely break that down, but we did want to make it smaller. Let's see if we can use you for this. So they stole the name. What do I have that I can add into this?
Delicious. When is ever is spaghetti and meatballs not delicious? We're gonna add a couple of raisins in here with our fruit mixture. I gotta bulk it up somehow. I wish I had a fresh apple or... Wow, that is sweet. And another bowl. Oh, they're using something that's even keeping the chocolate like soft. Now those are grits. There's the oats. Welcome, Nan Reader. I gotta get a better container than that bag for that. And then I think I still need a little bit more absorbing in there. They can see me. I had no idea necessarily what was in this MRE other than marinara and meatballs. And so I've sort of come up with all this on the fly by what I have around. So we need some more drying ability in here. I'm going to add a little starch. It came with a chocolate chip cookie. And that's what's... I've crumbled that up and put that in here with oats and brown sugar and butter and a little starch. And we're putting that over the cobbler to make it into proper cobbler. So other than cooking, that's pretty much set there. Let's go with the meatball dough first, and meatball bread first. Punch down time. That's gonna stick to my hand. It's just all sort of sticky looking. See if I can get that stuck to the camera, chat. Minimal stickage. It's all about the speed. I am going to add in our mixture of our so-called Italian breadsticks in here now, along with whatever was left of the yeast in here. I had left this out in case this had something that was going to absolutely destroy our yeast. Now, even if it inhibits the yeast, it's both established and has some areas where it can grow uninhibited. All right, I'm gonna give that at least another 20 minutes before we get back to that, but I'm not gonna give it much more than that. I just want to allow it to sort of rest, and then we're gonna work this into our sub roll like shape. Keep this. And same thing here. We're gonna mix our cheese, garlic butter, and teriyaki jerky stick into this dough, which is going to be sort of our breadstick of our own. Or, I haven't quite decided how I'm going to do this. We'll let that rest. I guess we should start getting our oven heated here. So chat, I don't know if I had a setback today or made a major advancement that's gonna take me a little bit longer. I figured out that the new bot that I'm working with is not gonna handle many variables as well as I would like it to. Like, I want to use a whole bunch of array variables, not just like simple strings or integers or booleans. And so, yeah, it doesn't seem to really like me using arrays. I can sort of do it, I can sort of get around it here and there, but how much do I really want to bother instead of just, like I said, a major part of this change is it's all mine. I just make it all mine. Allow water just chemically purified to stand 30 minutes before adding to beverage powder. I have a feeling this has something to do with like a chem tab or something. I don't think they have anything like that in here. I don't think they would throw anything like that in with this. Like, this is dangerous enough in one of these. Of course it's branded, it's just a simple chemical reaction, but you know, it's something tech. We're gonna need 2 pans set up here for our 2 breads. Chiclet, anyone? I don't know what I'm doing with any of this. Ooh, it's a cookie bit. Just sort of chilling right now because I want the breads to be in the oven. Like, we can make the drink, but I figured I can make the drink while the stuff's in the oven. I'm gonna do the meatballs when the stuff's almost out of the oven. Hey, Justice Rice. Just a sprig. Huh. Surprising. The cookie was 300. The cookie was 300. The main entree is only 310. Berry cobbler is 170. That's an interesting product. Most people seem like, if you look at the way I was taught to structure menus, the way you look at most grocery ads, the way you hear most people talk, it's people decide on their protein and then the rest is sort of like, what works with this? It's interesting that you sort of approach it from I sort of need typically 48 hours for mine. I think that's probably based off of where you keep your refrigerator. I don't know if I've changed this refrigerator. Well, no, I've changed this refrigerator. But I would be the type that set the refrigerator to what's optimal for the refrigerator instead of what's the lowest I can be and be safe. Use the least amount of electricity and be safe. sort of tempted to give this even longer because it doesn't look the Italian bread that's on top does not look like it is hugely hydrated yet. Which it may never hydrate because it is dry. Cornbread. Hi, Froggy. Okay, I think I'm gonna give it to it. We're gonna fold this sort of four corner style. That's true. Very much true. It could be very much an American thing. Yeah. It's certainly an American thing where we shop much less often than, say, Europeans. I'm almost thinking I'm a little bit European because I shop I didn't shop for today and I didn't shop for the last stream. But typically I shop for every stream in some form. How far along am I? Well, I'm doing bread tonight, obviously. So I've been just sort of chilling a little bit tonight. Tonight has not been the most. I've been working, but we're gonna move this out of the bowl. It doesn't want to move out of the bowl. We're going to do more flour over the top here. So there is our bread. I'm just now realizing I shut the music off of myself. We'll deal with that in a moment here. I'm debating if I want to pinch that together and allow it to fall again. I think I'm just going to let it sit as it is. Have it hang out almost like a slipper bread. And throw this over in the oven so it has a little help proofing now. On to the next. Yeah. This one, I don't know if I even really want to do much to it other than give it fresh folds and flatten it out. Yeah, I don't think I want to even I don't want to put that on the flour. So there is our beef tacos. Steak taco. That sounds taco-licious, but Taco Tuesday was yesterday. What about Wednesday? That it is. We're not being very spooky tonight. I've done some semi-spooky dishes, but... Uh-oh. Let's make sure. Let's honor that properly. Oh, that's the wrong one. It's over that in that scene. There we go. Get a proper hydrate command going. I need some water. Sorry, the water is not matching up to the sound. Hopefully that command will once again work properly again in the near future, semi-near future. That was good. I need another one of those. Even though this shirt isn't military at all, I went with the most military looking shirt that I thought I had. I know it's a little bit more army green, but it was like, maybe other than navy blue, like, do any of the other military colors even remotely stand out as, oh, that color is that military? Like, other than, I always forget the name of it, but the color army green, navy blue, I can't even, like, what are the, like, is Marines red? You'd think Coast Guard is red? I don't know. But hey, I get to vote. I've actually already done that voting thing. I got that all the way. They do it right here in California. They just send it to you in the mail with it all official, and you can take your time at home and do it instead of, you know, going there with 3 other people and being like, "Are you done yet?" Or, you know, having to have some sort of like chicken scratch list of the things that you actually wanted to vote. Because do you actually remember all the measures and stuff when you go in person to vote? It's so much nicer being able to sit down on a computer and research each and every question and be like, no, that's silly, or okay. I think I'm going to go ahead and throw this in there a little bit earlier than the breads. Actually, why don't we take a 10-minute break here and let these breads have a little bit more of a poof. We'll come back, put things in the oven, make the drink, and try and figure out this whole heat in the bag thing for the meatballs themselves. So, I think I'm going to see all you lovely folks back here in about 10 minutes. Actually, I'm going to see you when we come back from the ad. We're going to run, well, yeah, I'll see all of you folks in about 10 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the management of this theater takes great pleasure in making this announcement. To each lady attending this theater each week, will receive absolutely free a fascinating 12-piece kitchen cutlery set, 1 piece each time. It is really interesting and amazing to know how you can prepare your meals in an appetizing and pleasing manner. There's an old saying, and a true one, that what is pleasing to the eye is bound to be pleasing to the appetite. I'm going to demonstrate this set to you, and I want you to watch it very closely. The first cutter that I'm going to show you, now this first one is known as the Parisian cutter. Wind it through the potato like a corkscrew. When the cutter appears on the opposite side, pull the cutter out. Place the handle in the center and twist it out. This is what they call a French curl. When you fry these, they come out like donuts, nice and brown. Serve them with your steaks or pot roast them. Unwind it, there's 2 curls out of the 1 potato. Tomorrow morning for breakfast, wind a little strip of bacon around the potato and serve them with bacon and eggs. They're delicious. Different colored vegetables, wind them together and you get the 2 colors. Here's a little trick cut. split the curl halfway through the center. If you're making a shrimp salad and you happen to run short of shrimp, mix these in with the regular shrimp. On my word, you couldn't tell the difference until you started to eat 'em. Now the rest of the potato, you stuff it. We'll call this a little chicken. We'll call this here some hamburger. You might have a little meat that's been laying in the ice box for a few days. Chop the meat up fine, season it highly, stuff it into the center of the potato and bake them with the skins on. When they're done, cut them in two. Serve them on the half shell just like that. Serve them in slices when company calls. The more company you have, the thinner you cut the slices. If your mother-in-law calls, give her a beak piece like that. Now the second tool in the set is known as the garnishing knife. Everything you cut with this must come out fancy. Watch this, please. You cut down, you turn the potato, and then you cut through the edge. First one way and then the other. Sweet potatoes cut like this. Drop them into a little batter of pancake flour and fry them. When they're golden brown, sprinkle molasses on them. Serve them with strips of bacon for breakfast while they're delicious. Here's beets, you pickle them, and carrots, you steam or cream them. In making the original French fried potato, cut them in thick slices. Put them one on top of each other. Cross-cut the slices, and you'll never eat a French fry any other way. The potatoes cut like this will not absorb the fat because they're garnished around. Pineapples cut for your pineapple and cheese salad, cut them the same way. Here is one, and this is a dandy. Cuts any thickness or any size. Open it for a thick slice, close to the top for a thin slice. Saratoga chips, you can make them for 3 or 4 pennies a pound. Just pull the blade towards you like this. If you want the slices thicker than this, open the blade, there's a thick slice. Shoestrings for your Friday fish dinner, cut them down like this. Chop them up for your vegetable soup. What this knife is really intended for is for cutting the cabbage. You know the old-fashioned board, how you rip and tear, sometimes nipping the ends off your fingers. Lay it flat and pull it lightly towards you over the cabbage. The weight of the knife across the cabbage is all that's necessary. Why, ladies, when you get slaw cut as fine as this, you'll certainly appreciate eating it. The crowning feature of the set is the cutter that I'm going to show you now. This is known as the Champeen Vegetable Mincing Knife and Noodle Cutter. Now, when you want to make some real fine noodles at home, you roll the dough out like this. Dip this into a little flour so it doesn't stick to the dough, and as you roll it over the dough, that will cut the noodles in long strips, 10 at a time. Did you ever try to chop up a little nuts for cake? Well, I've seen ladies chop nuts and the nuts land up on the ceiling. Sometimes you chop the ends off your fingers. When you want to chop up a little nuts for cake, cooked meat, clams for chowder, soup greens to throw into your soup, making a little pepper or chicken hash is just a few strokes rolling it up and down. Why, here is without a doubt the meanest thing in the world to cut parsley. Put that in a grinder, you really grind it too fine. This machine, instead of crushing the parsley, cuts it quick, clean, and dry, leaving every bit of the juice and every bit of the flavor. Now, to clean this machine, you press the button. Rinse it out in a little water. When you're through using it, hang it up and let it dry. Here's one here that every lady should have in her home, known as the Parisian scoop. You lay it flat, once to the right, once to the left. When you scoop them out, you'll get a perfect round little ball. You can pot roast these, cut them out of cheese or cut them out of butter. When you're serving a fruit cocktail in the summertime, take your fresh cantaloupe, scoop them out like this, mix them with apples, pears, and watermelons, makes a delicious fruit cocktail served with a little cracked ice like you see here. But here is a tool, ladies, if you ever do get it, you'll thank the day you've seen this demonstration. When you press, it locks. It's like a pair of human hands. Reach in the oven and take the biscuits out of the oven. Ever take the hot potatoes out of the oven and burn yourself on the elbow? A roast chicken out of the oven, a piece of meat out of the pot, spinach, asparagus out of the water. Why, around canning season, when you're preserving the fruits, to take the hot fruit jars out of the water like that, that machine is worth dollars to you. And here's another one that I really know you'll enjoy having in your kitchen, known as the safety grater. No doubt you're familiar with the old-fashioned grater. I've seen ladies take a grater and rip the knuckles off. When you want to grate up potatoes for delicious potato pancakes, this has a smooth, flat edge, impossible to cut yourself. Just like you were washing clothes, you rub it up and down, and you really grate your vegetables real fine, retaining all the flavors and all the juices. Breadcrumbs for when you're serving veal cutlets or anything like that. You want a little breadcrumbs to fry your fish in? Why, there's the greatest proposition in the world. Use that for coconut, cheese, or horseradish. When you're through with it, just hit it down like that. That knocks all the food out. Rinse it out in a little water and hang it up and let it dry. Now, here is a stone made of carborundum and sapphire quartz, which is made purposely to keep these knives sharp. When they get dull, a few strokes over the edge like this, and you can put a keen cutting edge on it. If you have a dull knife or a dull pair of scissors, an old sickle or a scythe, a lawnmower, cleaver, an axe, there's a tool that will really put an edge on the knife, so the knife will really cut for you. I just want to give you an idea of how sharp that knife really is when you sharpen it with that stone. Ladies, I've seen some of you try to open up cans. Now, there's a can of Campbell's baked beans. I've seen ladies open up a can and you poke a hole in it, go around the top, hippity-hop, and your finger slips. Let me show you a real proposition. Look, lay it on the can, lift up the safety, and turn the key. That locks itself on the can. No harder than you were winding up your watch. Wind up the key and that'll cut the top off of the can slick and smooth. Notice how the end raises itself up in the air so you can lift the lid off, giving you a clean, smooth edge. Now that can be used for sardine cans, square cans, or round cans, exactly the same way. Now this tool here, my dear friends, needs no introduction. This will save you on an average of $20 to $30 every year you use it as a peeling knife. Here's a grater for cheese, coconut, or horseradish, a fish scaler for scaling your fish, and when you're coring your apple, it's just a slight twist of the wrist, and there's the apple core. There's one more tool that I want you to see, and I want you to watch this one very closely. Many a times when you're baking a pie, you have a pudding in the oven. I've seen ladies wrap a towel around your hand, and many a times you burn your fingers. Hook this onto the pot like this and lift the hot pots off the top of the stove. You've got a pie pan in the oven. Catch a hold of the pie pan like this. Why, you couldn't get it off with a team of horses. This will positively lift 100 pounds. There's a pail of water weighs 50 or 60 pounds. That's the way you pick it up. But there's one more tool. I'll be all through and I'll be finished. Oh, now the next tool and the last one is what they call the Sarah Bernhardt cutter. This was invented by the head chef of the Imperial Hotel in the city of Berlin, Germany. You place the screw into the center of the vegetable. Twist the vegetable until the threads catch a hold, then you wind this up. You keep winding until you utilize the whole potato. The faster you turn, the quicker the slices. Why, ladies, here's a machine for slicing onions. The first onion that you slice with this cutter, you'll bless the day you've got a hold of it. Every slice cut exactly the same thickness. Every slice cut the same size. In making what they call a rosette, pull the vegetable out like this. Pin the ends together with a toothpick. Drop that potato into the hot fat and fry it. that will come out like a donut golden brown. If you're serving a nice fish dinner, a little parsley goes in the center with the fish all around it, makes a very appetizing dish. Did you ever try to slice onions with a knife? You know how you get one thick slice and one thin slice? Run the knife through the center. That will separate each slice individual. Almost like magic, there is every slice cut exactly the same thickness and the same size. Wouldn't you like to have a set like this in your kitchen? Why, of course you would. Now don't forget, attend this theater every week and receive this 12-piece fascinating...
Yeah, you're not getting that from me.
Welcome back, chat. I have most of those actually, and have tried most of these. Most of them are junk. He's very great at selling most of them, shows you the best way to use most of them, and then doesn't finish what he's doing in most cases. These are great. I wish I had one that was a bit longer than this one. But these are great for making waffle fries or crisscross fries. Let's see here. What else was in that I have in here? Most of it's hidden here in the back, because I don't use it. Anyways, I can't find half of it. I must have relegated them to somewhere else. It might be here. This is the only other place they could be. I got my baller here, but melon ballers are not uncommon. The one that uses... I have one of those that uses a... Actually, that might be in one of my knives. I have one of those with the screw and a blade edge that you can turn. It's very hard to get them to turn regularly. Like, a lot of vegetables do not do well with a screw going into them. You know, think carrots and stuff like that. It really only sort of works with really soft potatoes and stuff like that. And even then, when you get down towards the end, it gets really hard to, like, he stops and leaves like half the potato. Using the bottom of that to get the bottom of that is really hard. The other tools, a lot of them are just really hard to clean. And don't make a whole lot of sense in that sense. But they actually still sell those like same combos. You can find them online if you're interested. Like, I bought after playing this for a year or two. It used to be my regular AFK screen. I only show it every once in a blue moon now. I ended up getting a cheapo set like it just to sort of try some of those other ones. Yeah, they're a pain to clean. Okay, so we're ready to go with our breads here. I'm debating if I want to do... I don't think I'm going to do a coating on either of these. I think I'm just going to go in straight with these. We're going to do some salt on top of this one, though. Maybe some MSG, too. I just had another idea.
This is our like cheese bread with meat in there, teriyaki meat in there. We'll do a little Parmesan on top too. We'll make sure and offend everyone's culture. I love that the caption said defend instead of... Alright. This really should probably go on a pan too, but I don't really have room for that. So this is going down in the bottom. And this is going on top. "20-minute timer." Let's try out this drink. Carbohydrate electrolyte beverage powder. So starchy, salty water, right? Ooh. What a weird smell that is. What a weird smell I've discovered. Like, there's something disturbing about that smell. Like, it's very artificial orange. But there's several other, like, there's a sugar smell there, and it's not a great sugar smell. And there's something else there's some other smell there that I can't really place. We smell millions of things, and I'm trying to break it down to 3. Oh yeah, it's along the lines of either powdered Gatorade or maybe modern Tang. Like, this is how Tang got their name, you know, this and on the space station. Deciding how I want to go about this as far as measuring it. I guess I'll just use this. This is roughly the ballpark it said. Yeah, maybe it's the bag or something. Like, there's really an off smell there. Exactly, Crowd Dalton. Oh. Cheers, chat. I don't know if I like this or not. Actually, I'm pretty sure I don't. Like, I wanted to turn that into... I wanted to turn that into, like, a mixed drink. Maybe mix some tequila or something in there. I don't want to do that to tequila. It's like a real... If you've had Tang or any powdered orange drink, they're generally in the same ballpark of flavor. Same that is like that, but like watered down, sweet, and it does have like another, like, there's both a saltiness to it and a like another flavor that's no thank you. I don't think I can do that to tequila, even though me and tequila are not the greatest of friends. I think this would be like, this is cruel to do that to tequila. No, I am pouring that out though, chat. And from then on, his coffee never tasted the same. I set a timer, right? Yeah, okay. We can do the meatballs, like, as the bread is cooling. But I am going to try using the heating bag, the meal ready to eat heater. I don't know, Tiff. I was like trying to figure it out, and there's little lumps in here. I don't know if they're like mini meatballs or if it's like chunks or what the story is.
that wouldn't be, like... That's how they do a lot of this stuff. Like, it's made by specific companies, but they farm a fair amount of this stuff out, whether it's to the brand names. They typically, you know, it's typically more of a situation where brand names will be like, hey, can you put this in your MREs as advertising for us? We'll make it a deal for you. But other than that, they contract with the companies that make those same things because they have tried and true manufacturing processes. They know exactly what they're getting from them, and they don't have to build out the infrastructure themselves. But that said, there is the famous, I forget how many, was it 36 or something like that, page recipe for how they make brownies? I forget how much, like, there was a... But it was something like 36 pages or something ridiculous like that. There were brownies for MREs. Standardized what the government wanted from their... It was a thing a while ago. There was a number of people that did, like, tried to follow the recipe and make them themselves and stuff like that. And there is standardized, like, whether they're public or not, it's very much all standardized. That's how pretty much the government works with most of this. It's like, well, we want this, this, and this. Let's see if we can get it. Or at least how it seems to be to me. And I'm not even, you know... I'm just even sitting here looking at, like, everything here is standardized. Down to... Oh, dad joke. That's a dangerous one in the middle of chat. I read that one, had to read who was saying it. Got another 7.5 minutes on our breads and maybe our dessert. Looking forward to making pitas on Friday. I've done pitas 2 or 3 times. I was saying that earlier. I shouldn't repeat myself there. But yeah, should I go with the stovetop or should I go with the oven, chat? Pizza stone or cast iron?
Well, it's not tonight, Tiff Tiff. It's gonna be on Friday, but... Ooh, Honey Nut Cheerios with the lead here. I'm sort of surprised by that one. Seven to 3. So this is Wednesday. Next Wednesday. If I have to use Honey Nut Cheerios to make dinner and dessert, or Chex Mix to make dinner and dessert. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, my house tends to get warm, especially late in the evenings. It'd be a good plan to turn the oven off. The last couple of mornings, like I've been complaining, we've gone from California at peak summer, like 90s, all day, all year, straight into our winter, which is not really all that cold, but it's still making the house cold enough that heater's on and maybe putting extra sheets on the bed, sort of a thing. We had a couple of rains recently that really tamped things down really quick, which the rain was awesome. Like, getting some water on everything outside was very much needed. Oh yeah, we have all sorts of stuff like that out here. We've had a couple of good years with rain. They sort of go between crying the end of the world is coming and okay, life is okay. Depending on if we have a good or bad rain year around here. But we most certainly have, you know, no smoke and no flame days. And, like, well, if you look at the maps and stuff like that, there's a great video by, there's a great YouTube video on this. Like, it's sort of as America progressed further west, the federal government got more developed, and the more land the federal government took, like something like 90% of Nevada is federal land. And so there's a fair amount of California. Our entire coastline is federal land. And then we've got all sorts of parks, state parks, national parks, forestry has tons of land in California. And so we have all sorts of fires. And then we get into games where this is federal land. This is not state land. Who is paying for fixing this fire? And yeah. If you look at CAL FIRE, or there's satellite maps out. I forget the exact website. I've posted it in Discord, where you can look online at the active fires, and there's like always fires between here and Canada. It's just a matter if they're getting anywhere close to civilization or if they're in middle of nowhere.
we also had some pretty serious wildfires here in Sonoma County in the last 5-6 years. Which, rain is amazing for that too, because we go through very dry summers and really only get rain in winter, and maybe into May we'll get a couple of spots of rain. But I don't know, I've been sort of itchy lately looking at other options for, like, I've been in this home for quite a while at this point. We'll see. Let's see what we got on here in the stove and oven. Ooh. Gonna give that all another 6 minutes. Of course, at the same time, we still have areas like parts of the West County of Sonoma County. Like, Sonoma County's sort of cool. We got so many different small little towns, but there's some pretty big hills. We got a couple of mountains. We got a ton of coastline. And so between civilization, which is almost on the like eastern edge of the county, and the west coast, which is all really windy roads and hard to get to places and not great. And so you get this mix of, I forgot where I was going with this. I got put off on that. You get this weird thing with, there's parts of Sonoma County that are so disconnected, like don't have cellular, don't have proper water, don't have, don't have sewage, don't have water, and they truck water in, they truck sewage out of several cities here, and they also, because they don't have good cellular connection, still have horns that blare off at times that you can hear like practically all over the county. That, there's a fire in some remote area and they blare the horns off to not only get the volunteer firefighters to go help out, but to let people that don't have cell phones or radios or anything to get out. I'm sure that's actually pretty common in like mountainous and stuff like that areas, but and yes, I already voted. I was talking about that earlier. It's sort of nice. I didn't grow up in California, but being out here in California and having your ballot mailed to you just automatically, whether you use it or not, like you don't have to you can just go in and vote. But it's nice being able to sit down and read through it all and do exactly what I want instead of reading some chicken scratch and trying to not keep someone else waiting or something.
Yeah, I don't like what's happened actually here in the county since the wildfires. We've changed who the sheriff is, I think a couple times now, but at least once. And the differences in administrations. The administration that was in place during the wildfires, like, probably got a lot of flack for how things happened during the wildfires, but at the same time, I think they did a pretty amazing job as far as communication for something that was absolutely not expected. Especially when it comes to the Tubbs fire. But since then, they had things like Nixle set up and other options for letting people know things are going on, and they've switched programs, and it's getting to where, like, I don't want to keep having to sign up for new programs to put my data out there for whoever is the most recent guy in office. Regardless of, what their political, like, it seems like, you put a new guy in, we gotta have a new system. Yeah, the alerts through the phones are pretty loud. I don't typically get those. Nixle was a really good system, and some of the counties still use it, so I still have it signed up for alerts, but it was essentially Twitter, but for government agencies, and their alerts go through their own sort of program. I forget if it was Santa Rosa or Sonoma County Sheriff, but one of the two switched from Nixle to some other program, and they wanted all sorts of personal data for signing up for it, and I'm like, I'm not doing this. Well, it looks like I was too heavy on the butter with the... Oh, yeah, that's good. I think this is going to look amazing once it cools down and sort of dries up and the sugar sort of seizes a bit. I think this will be a nice cut bread. And this might be a bit much for our meatball packet here, but we're going to cut it down and use whatever we need for the meatballs. Yeah, also here in California we have Amber Alerts, and we've had people, I forget what the new ones are called, We have multiple ones now because people were upset that Amber Alerts sounded too much like white girl name. And so now there's, I think, Mexican or people of color or separate alerts. Which, why don't you just rename them to a name you agree with? Like, why do we need multiple? Nothing too serious, they can see me. And the thing with forest fires and the areas up in Northern California, Oregon, Washington, Canada, you get into areas of heavy forest and it's almost like natural for them to have wildfires once every 20 years or so. And that's about what the cycle is. In most cases, you have to have the buildup of new, fresh tinder for a fire. So once the fire goes through, there's not much for it to burn anymore again for a while. Going back to the Amber Alerts thing, the other thing that sort of irks me about that is I don't remember exactly at the moment, but I'm relatively certain that was not named after someone Amber. It was like, it versus Red Alert, it was Amber Alert. It was... Yeah, it was already sort of like generic to begin with. Well, California did. I'm relatively certain they signed it and passed it. Okay. Vapors released by the activated heater contain hydrogen, a flammable gas. Good to know. Do not place an open flame in the vapor. Vapors released by activated heater can displace oxygen. When 10 or more heaters are used inside a vehicle or shelter, ensure the ventilation system is operating. Good plan. Hot water leakage can burn and cause a cold weather injury. Use caution if carrying an activated heater in a pocket. From the sun, like they give you a cardboard sleeve for this because it gets so hot. You can carry that in, maybe winter soldiers. Discard heater and bag after use. Do not drink the water remaining in the bag or use it in food items. Good plans. Oh, I expected it to be straightforward. I was still just reading through it, if only for the novelty of my own. The whole... I know this is just a simple chemical reaction. This isn't any advanced science or anything. It's just... You also just don't really want this in your food at the same time.
fold on top heater under MRE. Oh, they suggest just folding it over quick and throwing it in here, so that makes me think, have this ready. Absolutely crawled out. But I've read a lot of people like using them for like it says on the bag here, government property resale is unlawful. That said, my understanding is hunters, wild, and people that want to go out camping absolutely love those for how much water am I adding into this thing? Do not overfill. Yeah, we're starting to work. I can feel it. I'm going to leave it with the water against the reaction side for the moment. Yeah, you can see it's puffing up now. Why did they give me a sleeve that's too small to hold the whole thing? I'll throw it in a pan on the stove if it doesn't heat up the... This should do a decent job of it. Bottom of our bread. You can see a sort of speckle to it. I think that's mostly from the smaller pieces of the Italian breadstick that are in there. That's most certainly the Italian breadstick right there. I think that's maybe half of this here. Let's get a proper bread knife. Not bad for a quick yeast spread. Cobbler's looking delicious now.
stove on, camera on. Welcome, Roland. We have our cobbler from the pack, the blueberry and cherry cobbler. I have made that into a proper cobbler, adding a new topping to it, using the chocolate chip cookie as our topping, along with some oats, butter, starch, and sugar. That is still nice and warm on bottom, warm enough that I don't want to hold it from the bottom still. We've got our jalapeno cheese and teriyaki jerky cheese bread, which we're going to turn into our own breadsticks. This has also got some garlic infused butter along with the jalapeno cheese and the jerky stick. Heating the oven back up to max heat. $5.25, which is not impressive. Though it's a gas stove, and it's a conventional stove versus a convection oven. So, like, $5.25 is a real guess. Let's grab the cheese. Oh, we can use this. I don't know how this is gonna melt though. I guess we'll find out. That should be enough for a sandwich. Right, chat? How long am I supposed to do this for? I think I've probably done this for the time that it's supposed to do its thing. Could be longer. Like, I mean... need our insulating layer between the bread and our meatball mixture. The rest is for on top. Whole thing is warm. It's not super hot, but it is. Like, that pack has gotten really warm. Let's see what we got, chat. This has got a tear thing on it, but I'm gonna cut it anyways. Almost scored that one right into the cobbler. Oh, this looks better than Chef Boyardee. It's not too far different though. That sauce looks much richer than Chef Boyardee to me. Chef Boyardee and me is college food. It was kid food too, but it was college food. Yes, I went to the Culinary Institute of America, where I was giving 2 to 3 meals, like, as part of my... I ate Chef Boyardee. There was also ramen pretty rampant. All your typical college stuff. That said, I don't think many colleges have drinking parties in, like, our equivalent of frat homes with, you know, people making hors d'oeuvres in the fireplace. I think that's more of a CIA thing. But this is edibly warm. Good tomato flavor, a bit industrial tomatoey, but still delicious. This thing's still kicking. Like, I seal this back up. This is going to be... Yeah, it's already generating more steam and poofing up again. So this is going to go back in that oven. Bit of extra cheese here. That's going to need about another 4 or 5 minutes, I think. Want to get some nice color on that. I think there's going to be enough sauce in this that it's going to splurt out, and that'll help us with these. I guess I could have made I've got tomato paste. I could have made a quick, like, watered down tomato dipping sauce. Let's see what this is like just by itself here. This is our sub bread made with the Italian breadstick from the MRE. bread. It does have a bit of a drying effect, I think, from the, like, they were so dry. It was like they were sucking moisture out of my system. The Italian flavoring from the breadsticks has carried over pretty well into this. But it's a nice, soft bread. I think that'll be lovely for the sandwich tonight. Just waiting for the sandwich to come out. Put it on a roofing tile and we'll call it a night. The cobbler looks great. I think I should try most of this before I actually wrap things up, but we're gonna wrap things up here pretty quick after the sandwich comes out. I'm gonna try, I want to get photos of everything and then we're gonna try these. That's a smell telling me we're probably set with our sandwich. Sort of wishing I had a plate that went in the oven like that, because that looks amazing just like that, and I'm not going to be able to recreate that in the plate. Camera. Phone. Camera. So I didn't really use everything sweet and savory, chat. Do you give me a pass on this? Yeah. Wish I could get the bag in there easily too for everything. So let's give some of this a try before I wrap things up here. Start off with our garlicky, cheesy, times 2 cheesy jerky bread. It's starting to get a little cool already, but this is delicious. It is definitely some nice garlic bread. That's delicious. That's yummy, yummy. Yummy, 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 yummy. Chocolate's still a little melty. But then again, the chocolate that was in the cookies, they had formulated it so that it wasn't... It was still liquidy. Even though it was in the dry cookie. Trying to give you that just baked, impression, even though it's in the middle of who knows where. I don't know if I dare do this on camera. I don't think this is going to be a very clean operation here. Well, maybe. I might be able to get a shot in on this. Let's try this, chat. That bread is great. That bread is great. Nice and crunch to that. Along with... I feel like they can do better with that sauce. That sauce needs more zest to it. It is too straight tomato for me. Like, there's tomato and onion there. There's a little bit of herb there. I don't know if I'm getting that from the bread or from the sauce. But that's yummy. Did I get the... Let's try the meatball by itself here before I wrap things up. It's been a while since I've had a Chef Boyardee product. That meatball is pretty Chef Boyardee, though. I think whoever said that may have nailed that one. But that does bring things to an end here tonight. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. Let's see who's online, see if we can't raid out tonight. Alright, I'm just going to leave it there, folks. Thank you so much for joining in with me. We'll be back here on Friday. Same bat channel, same bat time. You're all amazing.